Hello viewers and subscriber, welcome once again my new screencast. I already have a talk about my new development projects, the enterprise level projects like with Angular and TypeScript. And as I said, my last screencast from 35.1 after 30.18, it was the screencast about the how can you start the Angular and TypeScript based projects, and from very beginning level to the professional level. And then it was about how we can prepare the structures, project structure, and the necessary directory informations and the folder information, which information has to be handled, and also necessary dependency and modules. And even though the how can you integrate the different third parties modules or third parties components or JavaScript libraries into your applications. That's I had a detailed talk about the previous screencast. Just follow that screencast. And then that was the as one of the screencast was the major focus was that how can you integrate the OpenStreetMap OpenLayers libraries to prepare the maps. If you see here the some GUIs here, so we have a menu bar, and there's some interactions like your address registration, user registration, user role registration, plot registration, building registration, float, and unit registration. All things is here. So here's the maps. This is the maps coming from the OpenStreetMaps, and the base map is OpenStreetMap. In top of the OpenStreetMap, we build our own vectors or own geometry. And that was the functionalities. The last screencast was like how can you, if you have your own defined geometries into the maps, or this is the main functionalities of the geo part of these applications. That's I said this is enterprise application, the combination of geo part and non-geo part. Geo part means all maps issues, doesn't matter where is coming from, the maps or the Google Maps or OpenStreetMaps or Yahoo Maps or Bitmaps. It doesn't matter. Just you need to be respective API call and build your maps, generate the base maps, and within the base maps you can overlay your maps, what information you need to. If you look at here this screen, the last screenshot was that one when you mouse click or mouse over and you give the respective information into the sidebar. So this is one of the example, but this is the programmatic example. But at the end of the day, we try to create this object into the database via the REST API. This is API implemented by Spring Boot technology, and then we visualize all the information for the register address informations, and even the plot information, flow information, billing information, flow information, and unit information for each of the geometry. Then that means you have a geometry objects and to visualize into the map, even though for each of the object has own relational information, then you can visualize each of them. So today what I try to give it to you, the theoretical background, how the internationalizations and localization works. I mean how the I-18N works. This is the main part of the application. When this is the presentation, after the presentation I will do the development, and follow the development how the internationalization and localization works in real life. I mean, every time when I did a screencast, I said this is the professional way. So the professional example, it's a little bit hard for the beginner, but just follow and if you follow all the screencast, and I think then you get it properly. How can we do every day our development, day-to-day life developments in the professional way, not the some example from the other cases, but you need to go how the professional life, how professionally we handle those type of developments. So here are the pictures, and then if you kids, I wrote it here today, is the internationalizations and localizations, means this is the known as the I-18N, because this is the international means you web pages or web application has to be supported multi languages. That's the idea. So that means when we can nowadays the free markets, free economy markets. So your market goes to the across the country, across the world. So that means if you build a one web application based on the Bengali or Hindi or Urdu or even though in German, and then this is the web page need to be transformed to the other language like standard English or other or Spanish or Francois or depending where your customer, where is the focus point for your applications. So localization means you need to be set it. Localization means like with percentage or currency symbols or depending. This is the localization issues, because if you have a progress like localized one, and then you need to be internationalizations for those pages. That's why it's too important nowadays any web application, the internationalizations. So that's why I try to give it to you really professional way, or really really get to really know how can you do and how can you start and how can you can do a professional level developments, web application development with the all multi-language supports or your web pages. So if you see the one of the example that I will show you when I did start development. So the translation files, that's I said there is a multiple many approach to do the multi-language support for your web pages or web applications. But here I would like to show you how the professionally in any across the world how they use it or how they integrate it. This is the best approach. What I learned from the last 10 years or 12 years in my professional careers. So just this is the standard one. I mean this is the standard one across the world. They are following this one. So you have a different translation files for the different languages, like you have English, the default one, and then you have a German one, then French one, and then Bengali one. And then you have a like specific folder structure, like you have a applications and the assets, and then you have the I18N directory, and then within this directory you put it your all the languages. For my case, I support only 1 to the 4 languages in default: English, German, French, and Bengali. That's the main. I will show you when they start the development after the presentation, after this screencast. So you see the different buttons, different files, and it's open. I'll show you what is going on. And here is the in the main ideas, what's need to be do, and what's the services, what module have to be integrated into the U development. So this is the main ngx translator. This is the main modules, and the translator service and translator module. So in the respective changes into the your project, you already know how the project structure look like. So you have the app modules.ts files need to be translate module for roots, and then you provider, and then you put the translate factory loader, and then HTTP loader factory, and then HTTP clients. And then you have a components, the app.component.ts class, and you build the constructor for this class, and then you provide the translating service, and you set the default English, and then your HTML page in the global HTML page means the top page is in the globally injected, and you mail some buttons, or depending how you handle your UI. But for this case, from at the moment, I just put it like buttons, and then you click it and see the changes of the languages. That's the idea. But maybe future, if I change the layout or something like that, then I will do maybe a drop down list or something like that, and something different. But at the moment, I try to present how it works in theory, and even though it works in practice, how you integrate it, how it's works, the internationalization and localizations. So you see that in the down level, and in the npm install ngx-translator core, ngx-translator HTTP loader, and rxjs, and then save. This is you install the respective modules into your projects, and that means in the node modules in directory. So then after that you can start your developments. So here the possibilities. How can you implement your codes? You have a translator pipes. That means you have a key into your translation files. Like you have a header. That's one of the keys, and you have the pipes. That means this is the pipe, and then translate this one. So that means when you switch on, switch off, or different language, they